Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FanView. Welcome to another episode of FanView, and we're here to talk about the preview of Champions League and the Postview. What happened during the weekend? Manchester United were smashed. Arsenal still dominating teams, beating Tottenham. Chelsea winning with Conor Gallagher coming to bite Crystal Palace. And Liverpool, what's wrong with Liverpool? We're here to talk about everything and talk about a few things on Champions League, because Champions League Day 3 is tomorrow. Today, I'm here with Jesse. Jesse, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm happy that Chelsea were able to win this weekend, and football was really interesting to watch.
Bola, how are you doing? How have you celebrated your Manchester derby?
Funny thing is, I'm not. I didn't get to celebrate. As nice as it was, still 3 points. So yeah, but it was a nice victory anyway. 6-3. Very good.
Okay, so today we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to first talk about Liverpool, and they drew 3-3 against Brighton. Bola, what do you think is wrong with Liverpool? Did you think they had a good game on Saturday? Because every time we've always been saying they've been playing well, but they've just been unlucky. Did Liverpool have a good game this Saturday?
Honestly, right, like from the start, I think one of the biggest problems they had was the fact that I would say I don't think it's like a very, very big excuse, but I would say like to an extent they actually do not know so much about how De Zerbi was going to like set up his team, right? So it's the first time they were going to play against the Brighton with the new manager, Roberto De Zerbi, and so Klopp said after the match that there were like little complications trying to understand how he's going to play and all of that. That's not so much of an excuse anyway, because Liverpool is a big team, and for me, like to an extent, I expect them to be able to make good in-game decisions, no matter how unsettling the opposition might be from the start. But the start was like so frantic. It was like Liverpool were like literally lost for like the first 25 to 30 minutes. It was like a 2-0. Like Brighton was like up 2-0 like in the first 30 minutes, I think so.
Yeah.
And then before Liverpool started doing the comeback or whatever it was, 2-1 and then 2-2. And even when it was 3-2, the third goal actually came from Sanchez error, from what's the name again of Brighton? Sanchez, right?
Yeah, right, Sanchez.
Yes, from Sanchez error, because it was the corner kick and then all of that errors happened. But even after Liverpool scored the third goal, there was still that feeling like these guys could concede like anytime soon. Like the team just looks like I can't say exactly, because everything that Liverpool used to do, I still feel like they're doing it not so well anyway. They press high, they want to play on the front foot, they want to make control of the possession. Arnold is going to attack as it does. We all know that Arnold attacks like relentlessly, because people are expected to be in possession like a lot of times. But like there are just like some very, very little, pieces that are missing. Like the very, very little pieces are missing, and then experienced guys like Van Dijk and Fabio are actually making like mistakes that are not expected. It's a long process for Liverpool right now to get back to the form that they used to be, because there is no time. There is nobody waiting for them.
Okay, Jesse, Liverpool, Klopp said after the game that this is the first time this Brighton's manager is playing the Premier League. They didn't know what to expect. First of all, I want to ask, do you think that's an excuse? And Liverpool, what do you think is wrong? Do you think they did spend well during the summer, or do you think that some things club needs to change, but then it's too stubborn to change them? What do you think?
First of all, I think that we can call that an excuse in a way, because yes, we can give him the benefit of the doubt that he's playing a new team in a manager that is managing Brighton for the first time in the Premier League. But I feel that as a big team, you're meant to be able to adapt to such situations properly.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, on Saturday, Liverpool's game was just filled with too much errors. It was not particularly the fact that Brighton outplayed them. There were so many individual errors in their game on Saturday. So yeah, I think that that's what really affected them. And as regard to their problem, I think that it's just a case of players not being in the form that they used to be when they were at their most successful. You can see that the levels in which Van Dijk was defending for them has really dropped. So he's having a lot of mistakes, and having your main defender making mistakes can lead to a lot of problems because Arnold he's not really got that good defensively, but he always had defenders that were covering for him. But when the defenders that are meant to be covering for him are not as good as they used to be, there will be holes in their defense a lot. So I just feel like it's a case of players not being in that form that they used to be. But I feel that going game in game, like after each game week, they will continue to build momentum. And if their players can start playing the way that we know they can play, I think that Liverpool will pick up for.
Okay. GB, still on Liverpool. What do you think the out of the title race now? Because Man City, their main rival, are 10 points ahead. You guys are 10 points ahead of them. Arsenal is 11 points ahead. And I know Liverpool has game in hand on those two teams. But then do you think now it's title over for them, or do you see any way they can come back?
It's a little bit too early to say title over, but at the same time, it's going to be like really, really difficult for them to get back to the mix because one very funny thing that we have with Liverpool is like in the past 2 to 3 seasons, even when Liverpool have been playing like at their best, and then sometimes they find it very difficult when Man City gets above them on the table to actually catch up and win the league. Unfortunately, because like in the past 3 to 4 seasons, they've lost the league by a point. And that happened when probably they were at the top and then Man City, usurped them and Man City was first and then they have to do the chasing until the last day of the season because that's how it is at times. So losing like being 10 points behind the pack at this point is going to be very difficult. I'm not going to absolutely rule them from the league race yet. And also considering the fact that there is a World Cup that's coming, and then with that World Cup comes a lot of like a lot of unpredictability. Like we actually don't know what's going to happen when these guys come back. Injuries, form, because after the AFCON last year, Salah suddenly lost one, very, very effective goal scoring. What like it was like at the absolute peak of his powers before that period, and then he came back from the World Cup. Egypt was not able to win, and then Egypt were not able to qualify for the World Cup itself, and then Chile affected like their best player. So there is so many factors that could still come to play and make it more difficult for Liverpool. But still, it's a little bit too early to rule them out of the race, but it's getting incredibly difficult every match day that they do not play well and they do not get points.
Okay. Please, before we continue, fans, don't forget to share, subscribe, and comment, please. It's really important. Jesse, so where do Liverpool go from here? What can they do to turn around that season?
I feel like it's just down to Klopp. Giving his players that confidence. They need to speak to themselves in the locker room and they need to pick up themselves because I feel like the morale in their dressing right now is really low because of the problem that they have.
Okay, but then well, do you think that okay?
Pick up like the morale in the squad. I think they'll be able to do better.
Okay, do you think that title race is over?
I think for this season, it's quite over. Yeah, because they need to still win more games that that the likes of Man City will drop points at. So I feel like the rates at which Man City will drop points this season is not going to be as high as the way they'll. You know what I'm trying to say. So I don't think they can still challenge for the title this season.
Okay, so let's move to Chelsea. Jesse, how was your team's performance on Saturday, and do you see any few changes that are very important made? Because I mean, it changed to a back four.
Yeah, it changed to a back four since our last game. But if you look at the way he played in the game against Salzburg, the back four were rotating into a back three, like when we're going forward, and Raheem Sterling was going into more of a wing back role. But you can see that what I have really noticed is that our attacking play has really been better since his appointment. There has been improvements from players, but I just still feel that our midfield is lacking in a defensive midfielder that can really solidify things. Because against Crystal Palace, many times during the match, Jorginho was looking lost in midfield. Whenever, especially when they collected the ball and they were on a counter or they were in a transition play into our attacking our defense. So I just feel like that's the area that Graham Potter needs to really work on. But every other aspect of the pitch, they look as if they are starting to build momentum. They have all their machine and the machine is starting to work now. I like our front three. They played them well against Crystal Palace, even though the scoreline was not did not look like did not describe how the game was really, but it was an end-to-end game. But I feel Chelsea played them better.
Okay. GB, first of all, before I ask about Graham Potter's tactics and everything, was Thiago Silva's arm a red card? Do you think that was a straight red?
To me, yes. I only saw it once, but I felt like he like literally obstructed the guy that was the ball like from, I think it was last month. To me, from my point of view, like after him, it could have been 1-on-1 against. So to me, it should be.
Okay.
So it should have been a red.
Okay, Jesse, do you think that was a red card?
Personally, it's kind of a touchy subject because I felt it was a red card, but an explanation came that he was the last man, but it was not directly at goal because I think Ayu was towards the corner or something like that. There was an explanation, but to me, I felt it was a red card. So we're lucky because
Okay,
we are.
GB, we know
Why didn't you let Jesse?
you know you have what?
Why didn't you
I
let
did know it was done.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. GB, we know Graham Potter's teams are usually very, very tactically brilliant and they have the ability to change their formations in between games and everything. But then it's like this old squad was created for a back three because Tuchel was a back three manager and everything. And then he has come to start playing a back four, which means two center backs will have to start and then one will have to drop. How do you think how should he be able to manage it? Like, do you think that sometimes, like, do you feel like that sometimes that Graham Potter will actually play back three, or do you think no, he's putting his imprint on the team now and saying, oh, okay, I want to play back four?
Yeah, I think it's very important that we don't forget that at Brighton, Potter really favored the back three-man system, like very, very heavily. I would say about 50 to 60% of the games actually lined up with the back three. You know, Daniel Webster, there was Dunk, and then Daniel Bond as the last season.
Yeah.
Or last season. So I mean, it's a and they had Kola and all of them, the rest of them, like playing wing backs and left center back like that from last season. So a three-man like system is not something that is like strange to Potter. And the fact that they're still with the back for right now, it doesn't really make any much of a difference because Potter is a kind of manager that I call like a very reactive manager. So he sets up his team and then he likes to like try to switch things up during game, like reacting to how the opposition switches things up. So if you are going to change the system and then you want to play a system that is reactive to yours. And so is quite I think what he's trying to do right now is trying to understand how flexible Chelsea is because the sort of player that Chelsea has with the caliber is actually going to be like quite flexible for him to switch from a three-man system to a four-man system, even right within a game. Because if you have Luis James and you have Koulibaly and Thiago Silva, and then you have, let's say, Chilwell and Cucurella playing, you can easily switch between a back four and a back three, like in games, depending on whatever situation you find yourself. So I think it's going to be quite where's the word now? Like looking at it from just one simple point of view to just decide like he just wants to abolish the back three and go to back four. I really do not believe so. I believe it's a matter of trying to understand how good the other team can actually switch between formations and matches. And then when there is a level, we don't forget he has not even coached up to 3 matches. It's just like
Yeah.
three so far. So there's still a lot of testing period and trying to understand the squad more. And so I feel it's just a matter of time for the three line up to three and then switch to a four in the back during the game and then switch back to three depending on whatever is happening during the game. So there's so much room for flexibility. So I don't think it's trying to impress the particular system.
Okay. GB, still on tactics here. What makes Crystal Palace difficult to beat?
Right. One thing though, I have to say that I didn't watch the Chelsea Crystal Palace game. I've not
Yeah.
seen their however. But from the few matches I've watched against Crystal Palace, right? It's the fact that after Ray Oxen left and then they brought in Patrick Vieira, it's about like they wanted to like take this braver approach to games. Like you want to attack games, not just sit behind and then soak up pressure and then counter attack. Like they're trying to like be a little bit more proactive. And then when you have players like Zaha and then Eze and then Olise and Ayu, even though Ayu doesn't regularly score, but he offers so much more to like the team aside from his goals. And then you have a centre back like Anderson that is ready to like clear out from the back and then play long diagonal balls, switch between like the left and the right quite easily. And then you have a team that is actually like well I would say well coached. Like when Crystal Palace play, you can actually see like this fact that these guys are actually doing well on the training ground. They're like trying to build patterns and then movements in their games. So they're a very, very tricky side to play, to be honest. Any big side that plays Crystal Palace means like it's going to be like a quite difficult game. So I think the fact that they are very well coached and they have the individual abilities makes them quite a tough opposition to deal with.
Okay. Jesse, so let's move back to Chelsea. Is this the second game in charge or his third?
I think I'm third.
Yeah, okay. So this is his third game in charge. What have you liked about Graham Potter and what do you dislike about Graham Potter? Like what have you disliked? What do you think is his pros and what do you think is his cons?
I've not watched him enough to start highlighting problems from his game, but like it's like a case of so far so good. So I think when we have our first loss, then I'll be able to see like things that went wrong. But I've not really seen anything that made me say that this is a negative. I just commented on the fact that our midfield still seems like it's lacking a defensive midfielder because Kovacic and Jorginho and Mount, neither of them can hold down a defense properly. So
yeah, but then do you think Kante can be the solution to the problem?
Yeah, I think like Kante can be that solution, but at the same time, I think we had a discussion some time back, and there was a fact that was made of the points that was brought up that Kante is not as reliable as he was before. So we don't know how long he will play before he gets another injury. That's like just a factor that I'm trying to place there. So yeah, that's just the only problem.
Okay, so let's move to the London derby. Jesse, you are so confident that Tottenham could get at least a point from this game. What do you think? What do you think went wrong with Tottenham?
I think we can sit down here and mention 1,000 things that went wrong with Tottenham. But to me, the one thing that stood out for me was the fact that individual errors again costed them that game. Like individual moments of like lack of concentration. Like if you watch the game properly, you could tell that from the get-go, Conte was set out his team not to particularly hold the ball because he knew Arsenal were going to always have that possession. So he tried to play them on a break, sort of. and see what they can take from the game. But when you have people like Lloris making those kind of errors, because I felt that the first goal, Thomas Partey's goal was a brilliant goal. But at the same time, you could make an argument that Lloris was already at that side of the post, so like he should at least get your hand to that.
Yeah.
So you can see that as a problem. Also, he made an error that led to the second goal for us, and then you see like another lack of concentration from their right wing back, Emerson Royal. It was a very stupid tackle because he was never going to get the ball. He knew he was never going to get the ball, but because frustration had already kicked in, because they felt frustrated with the game already, because they were chasing the game again after they went down. So I think he just had a lapse of concentration, and he got the red card. And it was then that Arsenal now put on the pressure and scored from the right side where he was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like Arsenal played well, and Tottenham always knew that Arsenal were going to play better than them, but the individual errors costed them the game. But credit to Arsenal because they played really well yesterday.
Okay. GB, first of all, was that a red card?
Yeah, I think it's this sort of decisions where if the ref says it's a red, the VR is not going to like overturn it because it's not like a clear and obvious error. And if the ref decides that it's a yellow, we are probably just going to show him back to like, okay, come and see. Do you think it could be a yellow or a red?
Yeah.
And it's like it's a yellow, then okay, fine.
Okay, but then how good was Arsenal?
Yeah, very good. Like, to be honest, they were very good. But like Jesus said, I felt like Tottenham actually knew what was going to happen. Like everybody knew, like you don't have to be Tottenham to know, like Arsenal is going to be the one in possession. But I felt like one very important thing that Tottenham were really hoping on was their counter attacks, right? And then they really saw quite a number of chances to break, especially in the first half. Like I could say like in the first half they could have scored at least like more than a goal. I was quite disappointed sometimes with the last pass from Son. So there were like some periods where like they were on the break and then it was just this last pass, like you may need to like break that Arsenal's last for like those four backline defense you get, and then Son probably like overeats the pass, or there is like I don't know, like this quality that I feel like they should have, and they are not producing up to that standard. And they got a goal in the first half actually. Harry Kane, like Richarlison was quite like was very good in the first half, I would say. And then they had the plan to counter, and I thought it could have really worked because looking at Arsenal, there's this tendency like Manchester City where you play so much with possession and then your defense line is high. You're always susceptible to transitions and counter attacks, but it has to be perfect because if your opponent does not make it perfect, then it's a big trouble for them. Because if they start to score, there's going to be a big problem because you give them possession, you cannot hurt them on the break, and they're possessing you, and you allow them to score, and then they get more comfortable, and then you get to lose the game. And like Jesse said too, I felt there were like some little mistakes and then lack of concentration at times from Tottenham. I feel that Emerson Royal's tackle was quite unnecessary, as he said, and the red card. I don't know. I felt he should have deserved it anyways because it was a very very silly stuff to do. And then one thing I noticed is there is this problem that Conte is still having right now. Is I don't want to talk too much about this. It's like Conte is actually like there is this automations that Conte tries to build, especially when he's playing out from the back. Like the way he wants to set up his defense line, the 3-5-2, like the way he wants them to be played, so that if he wants to play from the back, they can easily like get above, like away from the first line of defense, and then get their counter attack straight up. But there is still this feeling that they have this season, like they find it difficult to do that from the back, and then you see Lloris actually pumping the ball, and then when you're playing against possessive team, you pump the ball, they regain possession, and you have to start defending. So it's good play by Arsenal, but I felt Tottenham actually made the match a little bit more comfortable than it should have been.
I mean, the two-way side in the big derbies made it comfortable. Well, we're not going there yet. Jesse, do you think? What do you think Spurs have to do about Lloris now? Because I know you don't rate Lloris. You've always been saying that he's not a good keeper and everything, but then he has been that captain. What do you think Spurs have to do? Is it time to move on from Lloris?
Me personally, I've always said this that I felt Loris was not the best at anything that he did. He was not top three, top four, top five of anything I did. So games like this is always when you see like a different side of a player come out. And for a captain of Tottenham, that was the worst match to make such errors in your North London derby. That was like when you're
Yeah.
in your top form.
Mhm.
So I mean, he's still their captain, so they'll have to put their trust in him. But I think that you can see that it's already time for him to move on. So maybe like Kasper Schmeichel will probably go to the French league or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about this, but then I feel like this is something we need to talk about. First of all, Arsenal's next game is against Liverpool. Is that their biggest test? And do you think this season Arsenal can actually challenge for the title? Are they looking more serious, or you still feel?
Yeah, I mean, like looking at that team, right? You actually see like if everything goes fine for them, they should actually compete for the title. But it's a crazy world. Everything might not go fine for you, and then you might get to have injuries, and then I see like Arsenal right now, like they still have some players that they cannot afford to lose to injuries because if they do, it's going to be quite difficult. Because looking at that Man U game, Lokonga playing at like as the defensive midfielder really messed them up, and then you see the difference that Partey brings to the side. And there is just this, inconsistency in terms of appearances and then injuries when it comes to Partey. And I know Jesus is quite a fit player. I expect him to like play lots of matches this season. But they still have some players that they cannot afford to, that they cannot afford to like lose them at some point, like in the course of the season. But looking at them right now, they absolutely look like they're up for the challenge to go and win the title, fight for it at the very least. But I still say it's still 8 games. At this point of last season, Chelsea were first on the table. I don't think they've lost any. I don't think they've even drawn any. Then Chilwell and James were tearing the league apart at this point of last season. The two of them like bombarding to the box and scoring goals, and then the two of them had injuries at some point, like almost at the same time, and then it just went downhill for Chelsea, like from there on. So that's how crazy it is. Like you cannot afford to like when you're having a team and then there are players that you cannot afford to like have injuries. It's making you a little bit susceptible. And then Arsenal Liverpool, I really do not see it as Arsenal's biggest test. To be honest, like I expect Liverpool to like play well, but at the very least, Arsenal should get a draw. So yeah, I feel that shouldn't. There's no biggest test for them right now, except when they meet Man City, maybe in terms of guys in the league. So,
Okay, so Jesse, move
maybe
move.
have
Let's
they
remove
faced
this.
Chelsea this season?
No, no, no.
Okay, maybe sure.
Let's remove the league. Let's remove the match from yesterday. We're 8 games into the season. Who do you think is finishing above Tottenham or Spurs?
Tottenham was first.
Tottenham was good.
Arsenal or Spurs?
Okay. I feel that Arsenal look more serious than Spurs this season, but I don't know. I still feel that Arsenal are still susceptible to dropping points a lot. So I think I'll Watford because you need to still consider the fact that there's still a World Cup coming up, so that can affect momentum and form. Players can, as GB said, players can get injured. And we need to always remember that they are also in the Europa League. They have more games to play. So I think now that they're having easier teams to play in the Europa League, it will be a little bit easier. But when they go into like the deeper stages, where they have from round of the and they have like round of 32, they have a lot of stages to go through. So I feel like all these things will affect them eventually. But as for Spurs, I think Spurs will drop out from Champions League. They'll probably drop out from the Europa League and they'll focus on the league because that's always Conte's number one objective.
Yeah.
So I feel that they will still finish above Arsenal.
Okay. So now we're moving to the Manchester derby. Is this? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm smiling right now because Madison is making my FPL pop.
Hello?
No, don't tell
So
me
let's
that.
start with 3-0. Madison
Wow,
has scored 3 goals.
3-0.
I think he scored a free kick. He just got a free
Yeah,
kick.
he just got a free kick now.
Oh, man. They signed a whole football club. They signed a whole team.
Okay, so let's move to the Manchester derby. And is this the episode Moyo is going to agree that he was wrong about Haaland? Yes. I mean, when he does it to your club, you finally realize that, oh, this guy is a beast. But then, do I still back Harry Kane to win Golden Boots? Yes, I still back Harry Kane. Even if I know I might sound stupid now. But then I've seen Harry Kane win Golden Boots in one match.
This is not the season for that, man. I don't want like 6 years. Come on. Like Harry Kane has scored a lot of goals, but he has not won the goal. Like if anybody, I would have backed Salah because Salah, when Salah builds momentum, he builds it really fast. Salah can start scoring now. So at this point in time, I back Salah to. In fact, I bought Aubameyang and go back in.
Don't worry. I might sound
He's good player. He's from breaking, like already beating last season's Golden Boot. So
yes, like
we're just 8 games in.
I saw it. Like he has 9 goals to meet like the average score of last season, and we have 30 games to go.
Last season.
Yeah.
Well, we cannot just base on that chap because he can get injured and he can lose form. I still think he's not.
But then, let's talk about the game. Who do I start with now? Jesse, let's start with you before we move to Bola and talk about this thing. How poor was United yesterday, and which player, what do you think was really at fault of this? Do you think it's the manager, or do you think the players did step up to it?
I think first of all we need to give credit where credit is due. Man City were far the better team yesterday, and it's so obvious that they are one of the best teams in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, them losing to City is not like, how do I put it? It's not something that they should feel bad about, but it's the manner in which they lost. I think a lot of players can have a lot of faults in the game, but at the end of the day, to go back on the manager's head, that he was one that made a lot of bad decisions, and I think he was partly at fault for this game. Like I will start by saying I know a lot of people will not agree with me. Well, I think his choices of selection were wrong for this match because there's a difference between playing every other team in the league and playing Man City. When you're playing Man City, you know there are some things that cannot slide. Mm-hmm. When you like throughout this season, he has played McTominay and Eriksen together, knowing that McTominay has not always been a DM all his life. He don't start as a DM, so there are sometimes when McTominay goes forward, and as well Eriksen is not a player that likes staying back. He's a player that likes getting on the ball in forward positions and making things happen. So playing that against every other team, it might work, like probably. But when you're playing that against Man City, you know that you're going to be in for a tough time. So I felt that he made an error there. He should have started Casemiro, who is an out-and-out number 6 that will run the midfield properly for him. Because even though you can make an argument that, Casemiro has not been playing, but he hasn't started the game in the Premier League yet. And that is a game that you can put him in to start his career in the Premier League. You know, he has built a reputation of playing in the biggest games on bigger stages, like all in. This is an opportunity where he can show himself. So I felt that he should have started him in that game. That starting Eriksen there was already shooting himself in the foot. And I also feel like him starting Rashford, it was not right. He should also started Ronaldo as well. Because Rashford I think they said he only had one training session throughout the whole week. He only trained with the team on Friday. So carrying a player that just trained once a week and chucking him straight into a Manchester derby when you have a player that loves the biggest stages as well, like a player with his caliber that can attack the goal and score goals for you. Like, I just feel like these are wrong decisions. Then you can also start looking at the players that had the individual errors, and then we can also look at the fact that Varane was having I don't know how to put it, but when he went off the pitch initially, that's when they scored their second goal from a corner that Varane could have been there to defend, because he has the area advantage and he can be a player to mark the defense, but he was not there and they considered the goal and he went off. So a lot of things not just go right for the United.
Okay. Before we talk about United again, I think we need to talk about Man City because United's problems are too much at the moment. So there are too many problems. So let's just stick to Man City. But before we do that, we have K. K, what's up? How are you doing?
Good, I'm good. Good
Okay.
evening.
Yeah, good evening. Before we move into City here, let's talk about Arsenal. I want you to just summarize the whole Arsenal and Tottenham's game. What you enjoyed from Arsenal? Yeah, basically about Arsenal. Just talk about Arsenal because we've already spoken about it. So we just want to hear your point of view.
Okay. I don't know what you guys talk about. Like, I just like Arsenal were excellent during that match, during the derby. JC, what's up now?
Fine.
Like Arsenal, we're very good. Like, I don't think there's anything I can add or remove from that performance. That performance was very, very okay. So that is it. Like the performance is that good. I don't have anything to say about it that is bad.
Okay, but do you think Mr. Royal's tackle was a red card?
Well, I won't say it's a red card. And at the same time, I won't say it's not a red card. I think it's just a referee. Some referees don't not do that as a red card, and there are so many referees that will do that as a red card.
Okay.
So that is just it. It's just referee's decision.
Okay. Congratulations on your London debut win. Let's move back to Man City. I know GB is scratching his mouth. He can't wait to talk about Man City. He can't wait to talk about everything about happening in that game.
That robot.
GB, going into this match, Manchester United fans were not confident we were going to win, and you were very confident that Man City was going to win. Because even if some Manchester United fans were having little hopes that okay, we beat Arsenal, we beat Liverpool, there could be a chance to go there and upset Man City. First of all, why were you so confident that Man City were going to win? And second, what technical changes do you think Pep made in our game made?
Okay. I was not so confident that Man City was going to win, to be honest. I think you asked me when we were doing our 11 side stuff. We're doing the best of the level.
But you said 3-1.
Yeah, I expect us to win.
Yes,
I actually said 3-1. And I said I expect us to win, but I expected Man United to transitions and then counter attacks and then cause problems because of the kind of basic calls that they have. But Man U was so bad, so bad. I felt like from the first start, from the beginning of the match, it was almost like there was this feeling like this is going to be bad today. Like from Dalot's yellow card.
I'm telling you,
it's not even up to 2 minutes.
Sorry on that. Yeah, I don't want to be that type of fan that makes excuses and everything, but then I feel like that's another major factor. That's another factor why it was so bad, because after the collected his yellow card, Grealish was so confident, and then he's like, And then like
there's something about Grealish.
Yeah,
but then
that's part
the
of
thing
football now.
is a derby. The referee shouldn't have given a yellow card that early minutes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
Because
maybe
against
shouldn't
against
have
Man, my match against Man U also, Martinez was even worse than this, and the ref didn't
Yeah,
give
against
Martinez
yeah,
any card.
because why it's a big match and everything.
Like
But
he
then
kicked. It's just like clean. He was not even near the ball at all, and the ref didn't give him any card.
one thing. Several. We have different referees, and then, like before you play a match, you obviously like know the kind of referee it is, and then how easily he gives out cards or he dishes out cards. Like that's what everybody was expected to do. But yeah, maybe it could have like it was too early. But at the same time, I don't think that's a good excuse like enough. One thing about Grealish though is someone that really feeds off confidence. Like Grealish is someone like if he feels if he feels like you're going to give me the chance to do what I want to do, then I'm going to absolutely enjoy my day. Because he's the kind of player like he wants to hold the ball so much, he wants to
It's
like
on
take
the
time on the
vibe
ball and
opponent's giving him.
yeah. And then you've gotten a yellow card in the first few minutes. And Grealish is so annoying that it's like almost every time you touch him is going to fall and the ref is going to blow. And then if you have a yellow card against such a player, you are doing yourself like you are not doing yourself any favors because every time you tackle him, there is almost a chance of this guy is going to fall down and the ref is going to believe him. And then it would be like a warning for me and then another yellow card. Did you get? But aside that, I think Ten Hag really like I just felt okay fine. The lineup was quite what it lined up against Arsenal and Liverpool. But I felt it was I don't know the word to use like because it worked against Liverpool and Arsenal does not necessarily mean it's going to work against Man City. Like you cannot just because it's worked against like that and then you just push it out and you're like this is what I'm going to do. I don't know if you get like it's fine that it worked like that's good and then you want to do it again. But it was the funny thing is there was no Rodri, there was no Diaz, there was no Laporte, and then it's from the start it just felt like we are just going to like beat this guy so badly to be honest. And
I feel like it was just the early goal also. The early goal killed them. Like 8 minutes.
Was it early? It was like 20-something minutes.
No,
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Yeah.
8 minutes now.
Yeah.
I think
shocked them now.
But then
it's not like it was the second goal.
Just like these are just excuses, right? Because if you're going to play a derby, like if you're going to play a derby, like I don't know, like
no, I feel like normally, Man U is not. They are not the team that they are able to like play well when they are losing. That's what I just think. I don't think Man U can play well when they are losing. That is just it. Like right now, I feel like once they are losing, they'll start making rash decisions. Because if you look at it, immediately we scored our first goal, I knew this match is going to reach like 4. Because they started losing possession, they started doing rubbish.
But then the thing is, when we consider the first goal here, it's like we're trying to create chances, but then we're not creating here, but we're trying. But then once that second goal entered, it's like they just give up and they're like, no, forget it. Because it's like after the second goal, if you notice, the 2 goals the third and fourth goal just came immediately. So I just felt like that second goal just killed the whole team and everything.
I actually expected, like, I was thinking, okay, it's going to be like this Alan versus Martinez battle. But Pep actually switched things up in the fact that he was not ready to put Alan against any 2 center backs. Alan actually played a very, very more team embraced role. Like Alan was
played deep. He played
get
deep.
the ball
Yeah.
and then drop on the passes and then move into space. I think
it was more of Foden Grealish playing through the middle than Alan.
So it was like and I think one thing that you messed up is when you give KDB space to run into, you are going to absolutely regret it. Like KDB is the worst guy that you want to see. He's running with the ball. There are people running ahead of him, and there is space for him to run into. That's that's the worst thing you can ever do to yourself. Like it's you just planning to like create chaos for yourself because if you are going to be if you are going to come to FTI to play deep and then defend compactly, just do that. But if you are going to be so confused and then you are going to leave gaps in your midfield and give KDB loads of space to run into, then you're in no man's land. Because I really like, okay, fine. I could mention so many positives about Man City, to be honest. But I felt the game was actually thrown way open than it should have actually been. I actually expected some issues like the way we had against Newcastle, like transitions, and then we had to face pacey forwards. I think Rashford was just coming from getting the player of the month in September, and then Anthony to me, which was like Man U's best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
that was very, very surprising.
That was a stark comparison to Sancho, which to me was like one of the
Sancho was just
yesterday.
That's why I said that's why I said that early goal actually fucked them up, because that early goal they were unable to continue with their game plan. That's why I just think, like, I don't know. I just feel
and that's the fault of the coach. Not the fault of the coach.
There's
at the same time, players matter at the same time too. Like those players, I did the kind of players that can like recover from that kind of, coming to.
Sorry,
and all that.
GB, I'd like to ask you this question. This is one question I kept asking myself yesterday after we considered the second goal. Why is it that managers don't make changes in first half? Like, you saw that the two midfielders were not working, Eriksen and McTominay were not working. Why can't you just remove one person, bring in Casemiro? Like, why they have to wait? Yeah, okay.
If you do that,
you want to scatter the team now.
It's actually one thing is it screams panic. Like, you substitute players so early, like that, it screams like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Everything
apart from even panic, most of the time it won't work out, because like the player that's just coming in and what is on, it's not going to the pace of the game.
Okay.
It's not going to be able
it's actually one thing is
I feel like in some cases.
Just to talk.
JB.
I hear you, Jesse.
Okay, I said I feel like in some cases, you guys are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I said that I feel like in some cases there are some obvious things that you can see. Like there are some matches where you can see that Jorginho is not doing anything defensively. He's being spun around anyhow. You know that this is a problem directly. I feel like those kind of situations, there's you can make a change to remove that type of player. Like against Southampton. Because I feel like what's that match against Southampton? He was being spun around anyhow, like because of the fact that Southampton had a lot of attacking players on the pitch. He was losing the ball and he was being run like around a lot of times. He was so slow and he was not able to come back to get the ball. So those type of games, I feel like there's a possibility for me to feel like I need to bring on a different defensive midfielder that can hold.
But there's a very good possibility also that when you bring in that defensive player, he's still going to mess up the same way. Because he didn't start the game with them. The pace of the game is different from. So I feel like that's why most coaches would prefer to
you know your
break and come out second half.
But you know your players' strengths, I know their weaknesses. If I'm playing a game and I feel like I will dominate the game, I will happily play Jorginho, because I know Jorginho is a type of player that likes slow games. He likes to hold possession. He likes to distribute when he wants to. He likes to play the game at a slow pace. But when I see that the game is very fast and he's being outrun, I will know that, yes, definitely, he cannot keep up with the pace of the game. So a different player that his strengths fit a fast game like that, someone like N'Golo Kante, I can feel like, oh yeah, Kante is the type of player that can deal with this type of game.
I get with but like, show you the play ball. Like, show you the play ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
If you play ball, you will know this. Say, best match where they go on like this, like first half especially. That is when the games are always like. That is when they decide how the game is going to be. First half. I don't think you can just bring in a player, let's say like 20 minutes in to first half, and say the player is not going to be settled also. I don't know. That's why.
I think I actually agree with Jesse to some extent, but I feel like there's a little bit of context to it. It's like there are things like you can actually afford to do that, and then you get away with it. But there are some times when it's like it's going to be very difficult, especially in a match like yesterday. Bringing in a player after 20 minutes,
you get that kind of pace, that kind of fast.
But if you are playing against, let's say let's say you're playing against a team that you expect to still, like, at some point get into the game and dominate, and then you're going to win control. I think you're absolutely right. There is actually a chance for you to like make the decision as early as that. When you're playing against a team that you know the coming player that is coming in is not even going to like get into the rhythm of the game because he's coming in to
You get like
defend, like on
they are
God knows
dominating
when.
you and all.
You get
It's not
so
even easy to defend. It's not even easy
it's
to
going
defend
to
like
be like,
that.
Okay,
it's going to be like quite difficult.
Jesse,
Yes, sir.
sorry, GB.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, it can work. I'm not saying it can't work,
So,
but like
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
it depends on context.
but I feel
Yeah,
like
I
most
don't
of
think
the
I don't
time.
think you remember this match, this particular match where Chelsea beat Arsenal 2-1. I think Abraham scored the final goal. That particular match, really when Arsenal scored, then Frank Lampard brought off Jorginho. No, he brought off Napoli and brought on Jorginho immediately. And I think it was around 20 minutes. And from there, we were able to turn the game around and win 2-1. So it can work out.
It's not because the player. It's not because the player got injured
Like I
or something.
said, it's different. It's different when you're playing against the best team in the league.
GB.
It's different when you're playing against the best team in the league.
Okay, GB, just continue telling us about what Pep did yesterday. And the arrogance of Ten Hag was after first half safe, he didn't even remove the Eriksen or McTominay. He still let them play for like how many minutes before he now realized, oh shit, I have to
No, I don't think it was like, oh shit. I think it was like after the Antonius goal that came out from nowhere, there was this sort of sudden belief that we could actually like, we have the deficit and then try to give it like a decent game. And then bang, there's another goal, it's 5-1. And then that's like, oh God, what is going to happen now? It's looking like it's going to be like an absolute wash. Do you get? Yesterday, what I saw was there was like a difference to Alan's game, and then there was this fact that Alan was coming to come to drop because there was so much space in front of Man U's back four. Like there was so much space. There was the fact that McTominay was having a terrible game. Like if you're going to play against Man City and you're one of the midfielders having a terrible game, then it's going to be very difficult. And one thing about Bruno is Bruno doesn't play well in a three-man midfield, except like is like the one spearheading, like is like the 10. Like if you have like Bruno having played like a left central midfielder or a right central midfielder, it's a little bit very, very difficult for him, except like he's 10 and he's behind the striker and then he's doing the last passes and all of that. So when you play Eriksen, McTominay, Bruno, just know that Bruno is like sort of way, way higher than the two of them. And so when Eriksen and when McTominay is not playing well, you leave Eriksen in no man's land, and you're playing against a midfield that comprised of Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, and KDB. Like that's like the worst thing you want to play when your midfield is like absolutely poor. So I think Man made it a little bit easy because there was no Rodri, and then Gundogan was like able to just have a 3-day passes here and there. Grealish was coming deep to collect the ball. Alan was running into spaces, and Foden was just having like a wonder. Like I can't remember like, when Foden never scored an hat-trick in the Premier League game. Like that was his first time. So it was just
That was the first time.
that was his first time.
I've done it since.
I beg you, did it against Norwich.
Mad has done it since.
Okay.
So
No,
let me
continue.
round up. Like Man City were good, but Man U just made it so glaring. Man U made it so glaring that like there's a huge gulf of difference between these guys right now. Like Man U to Man City right now, there's actually a huge gulf of difference right now.
Okay, Jesse. Yesterday, Ten Hag came out after the match and said the reason why he didn't bring Ronaldo on was because he gave him respect out of his career. That's why he didn't want to bring him on and everything. And we've been seeing the media saying United are this not treating Ronaldo well. What's your opinion about everything?
I think that all that you were saying was just rubbish. That's all rubbish. You can't tell me that if you went to Ronaldo and told Ronaldo, do you want to come on? Ronaldo would definitely want to come on. Definitely. He loves games like this. That's what he lives for. And he has something to prove right now because people feel that his career is over and stuff like that. But this is the opportunity like this kind of opportunity is what he has to show what he's made of. So, like, not even bringing him on like throughout the whole game. That is the disrespect, I feel.
Well, you know, it's in here. I would have waited it if I'm still not calling that trick while Ronaldo is on the pitch. I swear. Like I actually agree with the fact that I didn't even bring him on. I didn't want him to come on at all.
Well,
So
I feel like he should have started in the first place, in my opinion. But like a player will always want to play games. You could see how Ronaldo was frustrated on the bench. And this is what I don't get, because when he was, I feel like Ten Hag is doing this on purpose, because when he was in the media throughout, when Ronaldo was there was the Ronaldo saga, he kept on making the points that Ronaldo has his place in this team, stuff like that. And then once the window closed, he's only in games against Sheriff you're starting in. Those are the kind of things that I feel like those are the disrespectful things. And as I was listening to what Roy King said yesterday, that like Ronaldo wants to start this type of game, so not starting him, we shall just let him go in the first place. You shall just let him go to whichever club he wanted to go to, rather than keeping him in the club and then benching him and not even using him at all.
Kay, what's your opinion on it? Because when I look at it, I feel like Ronaldo's safety didn't help himself in Nations League. It's not as if he played well in Nations League. He didn't. So you bringing him on and saying, okay, start this game. What do you think about it, Kay?
I don't know. Like you said, Ronaldo didn't play well in the Nations League, but I feel like if Ronaldo had started yesterday, he would not have performed any worse than Rashford did.
Yeah, true.
So, yes, because Rashford is just coming back from just one training session before the match, I think, and just started him
exactly
like that. And
I feel I'm not even basing it on.
And someone played 2 matches at least during the tournament. At the very least, he has match fitness. So you can just, I don't know, and I feel like someone like Ronaldo is going to unsettle the defense, the pairing of Ake and Akonji. I just feel like someone like Ronaldo will be able to unsettle them, even if he's not.
What do you say, GB?
That is, I agree. That is football. Yes, I agree. But like I'm telling you, Ronaldo will be able to unsettle those two more than Rashford can. That is just a fact. Because Ronaldo has movement. There are so many. Ronaldo does not even need to like actually play that much. Ronaldo has movement. There's a way he can be able to draw them out of position and all that. There's so many things.
Okay, he has to go.
Okay, so there are so many things Ronaldo could have done in that match that Rashford can never do. So I don't know. I feel like, and at the same time too, I was of the opinion that the moment the match got 4-0, I was of the opinion that there's no reason to bring on Ronaldo anymore, because what is there? There's nothing else, nothing for him to do. Not like even has good players around him. There's no like there are good players around him or anything that's going to like that are going to fight for a comeback or something. So, but you should have started him. I feel like these are the kind of games that a player of Ronaldo's quality can just win you out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that's just it.
Okay.
Personally, I was not even. Before you finish, I said personally, I was not even basing it on 100% that it's Ronaldo, you have to start him. But Rashford was not fit. Rashford had already trained once. Even
I'm telling you.
So even if you don't want to
play throughout this thing.
Yeah. So at least as case was match fit, you was only striker match fit in your club. So even if you want to sub him off 55 minutes, whatever minutes, you should have started him at least. These are the games that he thrives on.
I'm telling you.
So
these are the kind of games that like Ronaldo can play.
The thing is, now that you guys won't talk about it, I feel like Ronaldo should have started. But when I saw it here, I thought Martial should have started because Martial had 1 week training and Rashford just had 1. And I feel like this is what we United fans are just going to grow to know about Ten Hag. And me, I knew this about Ten Hag before he came, because even Ajax fans have complain about the guy that the guy is always very stubborn and he always likes going for the winning team. So like if this team should win this week, this team is playing next week. This team should win next week. He's always very stubborn. He changes. And I feel like he's going to learn. But then let's just move on. Jesse, what can Man City do invisible this season? And how good do you think they can be this season?
I feel like the standard that Man City have set is going to be very difficult for them to break. So if anything, is them. But as far as going invincible goes, I still feel that there's a long way to go in this season. So them going this whole season invincible is kind of a stretch. It's kind of a difficult thing to say. So I don't think they can be able to do that. They have not. There are still more difficult games that they haven't played because last season they didn't take any. I don't think they took any points from Spurs last season. They lost both games last season. So that was like a bogey team to him right now. So yeah, those kind of games can cost like points. So an invisible season is a tough ask for Man City this season.
Okay. Okay. On United, where do you think they can go? How far do you think they can go? And if you are a Manchester United fan now, would you be worried about after this game, or would you just be like,
I won't be worried.
Okay.
If I won't be worried. Actually, I won't be worried because I feel like whatever Ten Hag is going to do, if Ten Hag is going to work out or not, you won't know in the first 8 games. You can't know that yet. So I don't think there will be any panic yet. Okay. And for where United is going to finish, I don't know. But I don't think they are going to finish in the top 4. Like, I don't think so. Because this kind of matches, they are still going to experience it a lot this season. That is just a fact. It's not even about banting or anything right now. Like, for this, Ten Hag is trying to like bring a whole new identity to a team. And this team has been used to a particular identity for like years. So I don't think this kind of a thing you are going to do once. I don't think they are going to make top 4. But anything can happen in football, sure. I don't think they are going to make top 4. I feel like realistically they are going to be like maybe top 6. Maybe top 6. That is just it.
Okay, just you. Top 4, top 6.
I think their best route to Champions League is winning the Europa League. Yeah. So I don't think they can miss top 1. I don't think top 4 was 100% a priority for Ten Hag this first season.
Yeah, I'm very sure he has just been asked to just grow the team.
Yeah, grow the team this season. Then maybe in 2 seasons time, then we can start putting a lot of pressure on him if he's not performing.
Yeah. Okay. So before we go, let's just move to the competition that Man U is not in now. We're going to move to Champions League and talk about some games, and then you just give a score prediction.
It was only my team in Champions League, so.
Oh yeah, that means your team will be last. So let's just move on from.
They could be last for their league too, so they are last in their league. So,
okay, Liverpool Rangers. Can Liverpool bounce back from what they did?
Definitely. They will be in Anfield now, so I expect them to win. I expect them to win against Rangers. But Liverpool, they are very, very useless right now. I won't be surprised if there's an upset or something, but I'm expecting them to win.
Okay, so your score prediction. Score prediction.
2-1 or a 3-1. A 2-1 or a 3-1. I don't think they are going to keep a clean sheet. So 2-1 or 3-1.
Okay. Jesse, Ajax Napoli.
Yeah. Let's just to make it quick. I think that the form Napoli are in right now. A lot of teams will be beaten by them. So I'm still going to back Napoli. And I said it before that they're the team I enjoyed watching the most this Champions League. So I think they'll beat Ajax.
In Ajax house?
No, I've been watching. I watched all Napoli games this season. Napoli have been really good, and they've played really good, and they've toughed games out. Even now that Osimhen is injured, so I think they'll be able to beat Ajax.
Okay, score.
So, but it won't be like a huge scoreline. I think it will probably be a 2-1.
Okay, it's on. Okay.
Yeah.
Inter Barcelona.
Barcelona. I feel like that match is open because despite the fact that Bayern beat Inter in that first match, Inter were very, very good. They were very, very good. So I don't know. I feel like they should be able to, stand against Barca. So I don't know. I see that match as a draw.
As a draw. Okay.
Yeah,
1-1, 2-2, 0-0.
Yeah, a 1-1 or a 2-2. I don't expect much goals. Maybe a 1-1 or a 2-2.
Okay. Jesse, Frankfurt, Tottenham.
That butlers.
I think wait, before I go on, I think that Barca will beat Inter very well. I think it will be like a 4-0, probably.
Yeah. Let's wait now. Let's see.
I watched the game against Roma. Inter are playing very, very bad this season.
You can't compare league game and Champions League. Seriously, they are two different. They are very like Klopp, bro. Coming up against Barca, Bayern lost to Augsburg. So you are whining me. Just leave league. I feel like league form is very different from Champions League performance. That's what I just think. Bayern will be losing in their league and they will still come to Champions League to discipline everybody. So I beg.
Okay, Jesse, let's talk about Tottenham.
As for that game, I think Frankfurt will beat them because Frankfurt are a really underrated team. They've played well. I think they won the Europa League, so they've shown that they deserve to be in the Champions League. And Tottenham might not take them as seriously as they should. And coming back from that loss that they had against Arsenal, I think that they will be overwhelmed and they will underestimate their opponents and lose. So I'm going to go for Frankfurt. Tottenham one.
Okay, I didn't want to ask this before, but since we're talking about all the big teams, Bayern Victoria present.
Bro, those people may just carry caskets confused. Because Bayern knows how to Bayern does not disappoint in this kind of games in the Champions League. Bayern knows how to beat all these kind of teams. I'm expecting a 4-0, 5-0 something. Like Bayern knows how to beat all these kind of teams.
Hey, Villarreal go.
Villarreal will not. You want to compare Villarreal and Victoria, please? Are you whining?
Liverpool beat that Villarreal from back.
Liverpool, that is even a different game. That is knockouts now. Knockout, anything can happen now. This group stage, I can remember vividly. There was a season like that. I've forgotten the club's name. I think they beat Bayern first leg 2-0 or something. Bro, second leg for Allianz Arena. It'll be like 7 and chop me at 8. Guy, Bayern knows how to beat all these kind of teams. Just forget it. I'm expecting a 4-0 or 5-0. I'm telling you.
Jesse, your team now. Chelsea, Milan.
I'll say this before. I think this particular game is a game that Chelsea would win. Because Chelsea prefer open games. That's the kind of game they defend better and attack better as well. When a team defends against Chelsea always find it difficult to they always hold possession a lot and they never do anything with it. But I think this game is a game that we can win. So
Milan also defend a lot now. They defend a lot.
Well, their defense is not that good if you look at it very well.
I'm not saying that defend is people like they defend a lot. I mean, like they believe they stay on counter most time through Rafael Leao and this other guy there.
That's counter most of the time. I'm so confident because it's on Reece James's side, so that's taken care of automatically.
Okay. We did there now.
You remember they have to change Zaha to right wing.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
GB is back. GB.
My meeting ended way earlier than I expected.
GB, Juventus, Maccabi, Aka.
Why are we arguing? Why are we talking
about Champions League now? Predictions and what?
Why are we talking about Juventus and Maccabi? What's that?
Like.
Wait,
this guy they asked me Bayern Victoria play. I tell them they buy caskets come.
Jesse, sorry, he will give us your score. Wait, sorry, Jesse, did he give us his score prediction?
In a fear now.
I'm going to go Chelsea 3-0.
What?
Remember this game? There was a game last season when we played.
Who give you mind?
Wait now, when we played Juventus last season, this is the same thing they were laughing until it was 4-0 that we beat them.
Who is Dalot in you? Who is Dalot in you? Who is Dalot in you? Who is giving you mind?
Yeah. Let's move on. I don't know what Dalot is doing here now. I don't know what Dalot is doing here, but let's move on.
Dalot is a verb for when you are giving someone ability to win.
My service they cut anyhow.
Jesse Jerry, Real Madrid Shakhtar Donetsk. Wait, okay, what's your prediction from Juventus?
I'm not interested in that Juve team, Jerry. That team is very stupid. They might end up losing. I won't even be surprised. That team is very stupid.
I meant to call GB, your prediction.
I'm going to win 3-0. Like they won during this weekend. Like they won this weekend after like 5 matches.
See,
so like
K and GB. If Bayern or Juventus should lose,
what is going to happen?
You send 5K to everybody in that group.
If they win, you send 5K to everybody.
No, now,
So why imagine? So now only you sabi receive money. Me, I don't get account.
Because I'm so confident.
No.
Why Bayern go beat GB? I tell her say all this kind of team, Bayern sabi beat them like idiots.
When it's Champions League group stage, forget it. Bayern will beat
Then now,
them.
that's how they tell now. This kind of teams, Bayern broke. You go chop 4. If you know chop 4, you go chop 5. You know if you chop anything less.
I think I was saying something like Bayern has not lost or drawn in the group stage since like 2-3 seasons ago. So they've won every
Yeah, they have. They've won all their matches in group stage.
Yeah.
So like that's how good they are.
Okay,
Victoria.
Jesse,
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid Shakhtar Donetsk.
I think this should be a straightforward game for Madrid, despite their draw.
And Benzema missed the penalty.
That match was a difficult match for them, but Benzema missed the penalty because he had missed 2 in one match last time he faced that particular goalkeeper.
I think he wants to.
What?
Benzema, I think he has once missed like 3 or 2 in a particular match.
2.
Yeah, he missed
like,
it against that particular keeper.
Now this particular keeper,
Yeah,
like,
so
Benzema,
I thought that it was nerves that got to him.
Just biggest stages,
Maybe Man City had that keeper now. Maybe Benzema that missed that penalty.
Benzema doesn't miss penalty when it's most important.
But if you look at the penalty, he tried to put a lot of power into it so that the keeper will not be able to save it, and then he hit the crossbar. So, unfortunate, but I think
I don't know what they're trying to get to.
GV, Sevilla Dortmund.
Oh god, battle of the dances. Two of them are so like they're so dumb.
Now Susu, the 2 of them are Susu. Now in them Susu.
Sevilla is terrible, like terrible this season.
And Dortmund is. If there's anything like terrible, that is what Dortmund is.
Dortmund is poor, but they can
Alex Telles, that guy is trash.
Bro,
he's so bad.
Dortmund will concede tomorrow, bro. They will concede them down today.
You can concede like 3 goals in like 2-3 minutes. I don't even like that match. It's the kind of match I cannot predict. Like just leave. It's like when you want to like
leave it to the gods.
Yeah, like when you're like trying to like 2 idiots and you're like just leave them. Let's just see who
Let's go get sense pass among the 2 of them.
So I don't know. Like I don't know. Probably like a draw or Dortmund is winning.
No, that kind of match will not finish as a draw. Someone is going to win. Anybody. Yeah. Someone is going to win.
I don't know.
Okay. So GB, your score prediction
for Sevilla Dortmund. I said a 2-2 or something silly. I really don't know. Let me just say that.
Okay. Benfica PSG. That's actually a very top factor.
Yeah, it's not tough. PSG is going to come out. PSG is going to come out.
Guess if PSG is going to come out.
Yeah, now, like, even if it's a 1-0, they are going to win that match. Even if it's a 1-0, that is just it. Even if it's a 1-0, it's a 2-1. I don't know. PSG are going to come out as the winner.
So, what's your score prediction?
I already said now 1-0, 2-1.
Okay. GB. So, just end it to Man City.
Man City.
Kopange.
One thing, Alvarez is going to score because he's going to play the full match. Varane is not going to play, so don't worry. People will not hear Alan this week. Don't worry.
That guy just the ridicule our league.
I'm just going to win. I don't know, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Pick it.
This
You
guy
know-
an idiot.
Do you know?
An idiot.
If
Say
you know
na
everything
handball.
Christmas, you
Say
know.
na handball.
Do you know what I love?
Christmas.
Okay, so Jesse, Thursday night. Hi.
Please ask me. I don't do that.
What are you doing here? Why are you doing Thursday night? Not the Thursday night.
Friday party.
Next
Moyo,
Friday.
Moyo, may we talk, Gary. Leave all these bastards.
Okay, I
May
beg
we
you.
talk.
Omonia Manchester
You are,
United.
now you are Omolola they play now. You go beat Omolola now.
You can't use that Gaba. When I know now squad.
At least
When I-
my goat go score penalty and shout you. I don't mind.
Eh,
Don't
this match will be very interesting to watch. Arsenal versus Bodo.
Bodo Glimt.
I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm at home. I'm going to win. Any which way. I feel like I'm going to win.
I say any
I'm at home now. Any which way. Will I maybe 0.50? I don't know. I'm just going to win one way or the other.
that is all for today. Thank you guys for coming and thank you guys for watching. Jesse, any sign out?
UK and GB, you'll be laughing now. But when we come for review, I'll laugh at your faces. And when the Arsenal lose too, you see me. Tell you, I'll look at that. It was not even for me to know. It was wrong. But anyway, guys, it was a nice time today. And it's nice talking about football. So you guys should like, subscribe, and comment down below.
GB, your sign off. I mean, before you talk, don't forget, Jesse said Milan is going to beat Milan 3-0.
Yes.
You do remind me. Me. That's not in my head. What? No worry, we'll go down that meeting after the match. You do mistake, no way.
Like, yeah, it's like really nice and exciting to talk about football and bands and laugh and all of that. So it's nice and you guys just enjoy our land. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
GB, what I'll tell you is that try and enjoy your Manchester derby. Because me, all those times we used to beat Man City, I used to take myself out.
Like, so you can't use that one to console yourself now.
Don't worry, I will enjoy it.
K, your sign off.
To our viewers, another day talked about football. We enjoyed each other, so let's like, comment, and retweet. Is it retweet or share?
Share.
Twitter don't finish me.
Share. Yeah, you have it. Thank you very much.
Shut up.
Thank you very much for coming to watch. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. See you soon. Bye.
You see. I beg, just go play that match yourself. Now you go score that 3 or else.